I'm starting to realize that I don't like lives. I don't like doing lives very much. Because I like lives when there's just like a few people. You know, it's like 5 or 6 people or even 10. I've gotten to 13, I think, on most of my videos lately, the lives. Concurrent viewers, you know, but what I'm finding now, like today I did a live, I did a candy live. It came out horrible. I ended up deleting it. But because the camera was bad. It was the camera from my computer. So it was a bad quality, you know. I really wish I could get another video camera like the one that was stolen. I had a Sony Handycam, and I loved that camera so much. And I never got another one. They're kind of, you know, they're not exorbitant, but they're, you know, a bit pricey, and I haven't had a chance to buy another one, but I will be able to someday. I really liked having that little handy cam, and I would walk around, and it was, you know, it was better than my phone for filming. Anyway, I don't have it, so so I'm gonna try to do a soft-spoken video, but if I get loud, I'll try not to. I always forget, and then I get loud sometimes. But so my topic of discussion today. Oh well, the reason I don't like the lives, and then I'm gonna get to my topic of discussion. So I did that candy live today, the candy attack, and what happened was a lot of people came in. I was up to like 80 people at one point. So I guess candy attacks might be good videos. I do get a few more views on those, I've noticed, than on some of the other videos on my Ramble channel. But some trolls came in, first of all, and they're annoying, and I know you can always block them, but you shouldn't have to block people, you know, and I didn't block them, I timed them out, but I don't think you can block on the lives anymore. I think you can only time them out. I don't know. I'm just learning myself. I'm still learning. So, anyway, my topic today, I thought I would talk about what happened to my dog and why I now have 4 cats. So just to get right to the point, my little dog passed away about a year ago, and I was devastated. It was really hard. She got very sick very quickly. Like, she was fine, and then she fell ill, and like within 2 weeks, you know, I took her to the vet. I spent a lot of money trying to save her, and it was just her kidneys shut down. She had a kidney issues, and so, you know, I don't know if it's something I did. I don't know what I could have done, but I think it must have been something she was born with, and because I fed her regular dog food. I mean, it wasn't. I would get her good quality dog food. Anyway, she passed away, and I don't want to harp on it too much. What's done is done. She's gone. And but in those days that she fell ill, it turned out a stray cat had kittens in my backyard, and I already knew she was going. And so on the one hand, I felt guilt. I mean, I knew she was going to pass. It was already known that she wasn't going to get better, but I couldn't bring myself to have her put to sleep. And she wasn't suffering. She was just sleeping. She was just low all day. And anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about it, because, you know, it's just a sad thing, and we want these videos to be happy, if we want them to be relaxing. So anyway, I still cry sometimes because she was the perfect little doggy. I mean, she wasn't. She was a mess. She was she was mean at meal times, and she, she had her issues. She couldn't walk well because she had hydrocephalus, and but she was so cute. She was sweet sometimes too, but at mealtime she would get very mean, and one time she bit me so much and my whole hand swelled. So for her size, you'd be surprised at what my hand looked like. I had to go get on antibiotics and everything. But I just loved her. When it's your pet, you love them. It's just so anyway, that was a year ago. So I started feeding the little kittens because, I wanted to make friends with them so that I could, find them homes. So I was being friendly with the kittens, now I was feeling guilty at the same time because the dog was still here and I knew that she was going. And I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm already I'm not replacing her, but, the kittens happened to show up and I wasn't going to be mean to them, and they were hungry, and the mother cat was around. She was giving them milk too, but they were now needing more food. They were already having teeth, and they were really hungry, and so I started feeding them. My intention was to find homes for them, and there were 6. So anyway, in those few days, my dog passed away, and I was just feeling like, I didn't want to replace her. I can't replace. You don't replace a pet. You get another pet, but you don't replace the ones you lost. Like with anything you love. But, oh, I'm about to cry, so let's change the subject to the cats. So anyway, the dog passed away, and so I had the cats, and I became friendly with them. So then I put an ad on social media on Nextdoor in the area, and a lot of people responded that they wanted cats, and I was being very careful because I wasn't going to just hand them out. In hindsight, maybe that's what I should have done, because now I have 4 cats. So there were 6, and I was able to find homes for 2 of them. And I did a home visit for the one that I gave them to. So, nice people. I gave them one. And then another lady came to my house, and she seemed really nice. And she actually ended up friending me on Instagram. And I see pictures of the cat sometimes, and it's spoiled rotten. So those 2 had a happy ending, I believe. And then these 4 that were left, they're still here. They live in the backyard, and I feed them, and I've taken them to get neutered, and I've given them rabies shot, and that's all I'm going to do. And then one of them had a really severe eye infection. When he was a kitten. They're all boys. When he was a kitten, and they were afraid of me at first, so I couldn't grab them at first. But as I got friendlier and friendlier, but actually this one I had to catch the one with the eye I had to catch in a have-a-heart trap, and took her to the vet. Took him. I keep calling it her, she, because I guess deep down I really wish I had a girl. A girl something, a girl dog or a girl cat, but anyway, it is what it is. So the one with the really bad eye infection, I took that one to the vet, and they had to have the eye removed. It was just too far gone, and it was all infected, and it was hideous. So now she's got one eye. He's got one eye. And that's the one that turned out to be the friendliest because of all of the operation and the recuperation time, I had to keep him inside. So, just by that being forced to stay inside for however many weeks, he just ended up becoming friendlier than the other ones. The others are friendly too, though. But this one is very friendly with people, with more people. The other ones are friendly with me, but they're afraid of my parents. But this one with the one eye, he's friendly with everyone. And he's friends with my father, and when my brother visited, he came and he started purring and, rubbing against my brother. And so now I have 4 cats. So that's plenty. I don't need a dog now, because before that I was thinking, okay, maybe I could get another dog eventually, but I didn't want to get another pet so soon. Partly I felt guilty because, so soon, and I thought, okay, maybe I would just wait for pets to find me. And that's what happened. These cats found me. Or I found them, but they were in my yard, so that's the story of my cat. Oh, I've been eating yogurt lately. This 10% whole milk yogurt. It's not the low fat, it's the high fat yogurt. It is so delicious. I've been gaining weight just eating that. The reason I'm bringing it up because I feel like going getting a spoonful. I'm just eating it like ice cream. I'll get a spoonful, and a little later I'll get another spoonful. I mean, it's as tasty to me as ice cream is. Actually, I like it better than ice cream. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go grab some. Just 1 spoon. So the thing about pets is, you love them so much. They become a part of your family and then they die. And that part is so hard. I mean, I was going through such a horrible time when she passed away. It was just like a few weeks of really bad, my mother has been sick for a while. And so there's some bad days with that, and me still trying to accept her illness. I still hadn't accepted it. So I was, not feeling good there, and like all I had was my little dog. Okay, don't talk about it. I'm gonna cry. Like all I had was like, at the end of the day, I'd come home from work or whatever, and I'd have her, and I could hug her, and when she wasn't being mean. So, I could take her anywhere because she couldn't walk very well. So the nice thing is I didn't need a leash because I could just put her on she couldn't go very far, so she could never run away. And so I could just take her everywhere, and people thought she was so cute. And, until I realized how mean she got around food, I was like letting everyone hold her and play with her, and little children even. I said, oh, she's perfect for children, But she wasn't, as it turned out. But thank goodness she never bit anyone but me. She only ever bit me. But it was only a matter of time before she would have bitten someone. So, maybe it was I'm not saying it was for the best, but maybe, I always try to look on the bright side of everything, even in my pessimism. I'm an optimistic pessimist. Like when I'm pessimistic, I try to... But, maybe she eventually would have bitten someone else, and I could have had, who knows, worse things. A lawsuit or... But, anyway, that's that. And the cats, I have 4. Their names are Larry, Sebastian, Jack, and Maomi. And Maomi the name was given to me by a friend of mine who used to live in China, and she said it was a name there that they would call cats. It was a cute name. And it's gender neutral name in China. And Maomi is yellow. Jack is a black one. Sebastian is another black one. And Larry is the one with one eye. He's gray. He's marbled gray, kind of. And I don't want to say I have favorites because, I love them all. Even the one that isn't very friendly. 3 of them come close to me and they let me pet them and stuff. And one of the black ones is more shy. He'll rub up on furniture when I'm around. And it's because he knows I'm going to feed them. So, but, and 2 of them are really much bigger than the other 2. And I think they're getting food elsewhere. I remember one girl that used to do ASMR. She would do rambles. She wouldn't call them rambles. She would just come on and start talking. And she had a really soothing voice. And I probably subscribed to her, but I'm subscribed to like 1,000 people on YouTube. So I wouldn't know how to pick her out if she even does videos anymore. But if I would remember her channel, I could go back and listen to her old videos. But she would always, she'd have this, a lilt in her voice. She'd be talking and, she'd talk like this. And yeah, and today I went to the store and let me try to do her voice. Well, first I'd have to have a topic of conversation, but she would talk like this and yeah, and everything would be kind of cool. I'm not doing it right. Wait, let me try again. Yeah, no, and her topics of conversation were light. So she had light topics of conversation, and she had a lilt in her voice. So everything was cool, That's how she would, I'm just trying to give an impression of what her rambles were like. And she would talk about her life too and what she was doing. And I'm about to move to, for example, I'm getting ready to move to Seattle. And yeah, I have a job offer lined up for me and I'm going to be moving there. And it's been kind of hard on my parents because, and just like that and the whole video. Yes, so I'll talk to you guys next time. I should try to find her videos, but she probably doesn't do videos anymore. You know how people well, some ASMR people have been doing it for years. I don't even watch ASMR anymore, so I don't know what the others are doing. I think I saw Maria of Gentle Whispering. She's still doing her stuff. But I don't know, I'm just not into it anymore. Long videos, I just can't sit through them. I have this... Well, no, it depends what the topic is again. Because I'll listen to a news program. But of course, a news program is different stories. So it's not one long story. I can sometimes watch documentaries. If it's an interesting topic, I'll watch a documentary. Oh, I've been gardening lately. Which is gardening, but not sort of like wild gardening. Like I found a little... It came out of there's a palm tree in my front yard, and it seeds or something. It grows these little... They're not coconuts, but they look like little teeny little coconuts. They're green. So I planted one of those, and I'm getting myself a new palm tree. And then I planted some watermelon seeds because I ate watermelon. So I took a few seeds and put them in the pot, in the potted plant. Same place that I have the palm tree. and 2 watermelon vines grew, and there's a teeny little now I don't think it's going to get big, but it's a teeny little watermelon on one of them. But you know, those seeds are not, they're not GMO, so they're not going to produce fruits that are, you know, edible quality. I mean, it's going to be this sort of like, you know how you get crab apples? You'll get this delicious apple, and then you plant the seeds and grow a tree, and you get crab apples out of it, because most of those are genetically, well, they might be GMO fruits, or they might be, what do you call it again? I don't remember why, because I took a class on it. But even if the fruit you get is beautiful, you're going to get crab apples out of, or if you get an orange, for example, if you buy this delicious, beautiful orange and you plant the seed, you're just going to get average oranges. You're not going to get the good orange. And I can't remember the reason why, though. I mean, GMO is one of the reasons. No, GMO, if you plant the seeds, yeah, I don't know enough. See, I shouldn't talk, because if I don't know, I shouldn't make stuff up. That's like if AI just told you whatever. Not really, because you should know not to believe everything I say. But I try not to say things if I'm not positive, or if I'm not positive, I let people know I'm not sure why. It's important to know your references. I could Google it. Why don't I do that? I got my phone right here. Oh, it fell down. Wait a minute. Why do why did my no see I was gonna say something like, why did my apple tree produce crab apples? Why did I get crab apples from my plant? Let's see what AI says. You received crab apples because if you plant seeds from a regular apple, the resulting tree is genetically unique. Oh, okay, that makes sense, and likely to revert to a wilder ancestral crabapple form, as commercial apples are clones from grafts. Oh, that's why. That's right, I remember now. Alternatively, your tree might be a true crabapple that was planted as a rootstock or a seed, which are often used because of their hardiness, disease resistance, and ability to produce flowers to pollinate nearby domestic apple trees. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're genetically unique. Each seed is its own unique. Yeah, that makes sense. Just like us, every person is one unique genetic code. So each, I don't know if each apple, but each seed, if you plant seeds from a regular apple, the resulting tree is genetically unique. Yeah, no, each seed is unique. So each seed has a genetic code in it. But I wonder if each apple has the same genetic code, or if each seed in each apple. You know how to test that? It would be very simple. Just get one apple and plant 2 or 3 seeds and see if the 3 trees produce the same apples. 3 seeds from the same apple. Yeah. Why you might have gotten crab apples. It keeps going. This is all from AI. Seedling apple trees. Most edible apple trees are not grown from seed. They are clones created by grafting. That's why I took a grafting class many years ago, and I remember them explaining that. When you plant a seed from a store-bought apple, it will not produce a tree that is true to the parent fruit. The seeds are the result of sexual reproduction. Of course, birds and the bees, duh. It makes so much sense now that I'm reading it, and contain a mix of genetic traits, often leading to the development of crabapple tree. Right, so the pollen, you don't know where the bee's been, so he's going to bring pollen from wherever. It may be from a nearby tree, but... And each crabapple rootstock. Many commercial apple trees are grafted onto crabapple rootstock. If you planted a seed or cutting from a grafted tree, you might have grown a tree from the rootstock instead of the desired cultivar. And now I remember a story they told in the grafting class, which is very interesting. Because he said, now you are all probably wondering why you get these beautiful fruits from the store, like an orange, because we're in Florida, so of course he's going to use orange as the example. But he did give a good example. So he said, and so what happened was, no, it actually happened. There was a orange grove that I don't think it happened. I think they knew just that it was useless. What happened was, so why don't I just get to the point? The hurricane came and cut off all the tops of the orange trees were destroyed, blown away. So it was just left with the bottoms, with the roots. And so, you might think, okay, well, just let them grow again. But no, what would happen if you would let them grow again, if it's cut off past the point of the graft, you would just get the crappy oranges. You wouldn't get the good oranges. So they're either genetically modified or they're genetically selected. And GMO is not dangerous. Remember how everybody was so scared of GMO for a while? GMO is just as good as any other fruits. They're actually better. I mean, they look prettier and juicier. I don't know what we buy. I think you can choose to not have GMO, but they don't harm anyone. I remember this whole thing at one time. Oh, GMO is bad. Oh my gosh, everybody's gonna die. And I was just like, I did some reading on it, and then some Nobel laureates. I don't remember how many. They said, we've got to stop with this. This is, there are countries that are starving, and GMO has saved them. So I don't want to get into that now because, but, and again, let me look that up because, see, I got to remember the story. Nobel laureates, GMO, discuss GMOs, okay. Several Nobel laureates led by molecular biologist Sir Richard Roberts have actively discussed and supported genetically modified organisms to combat hunger and malnutrition, particularly through initiatives like Golden Rice. They argue that opposition to GMOs, particularly from groups like Greenpeace, is anti-scientific, based on misinformation, and has caused significant harm, especially in developing countries. These laureates advocate for precision agriculture. And urge governments to embrace modern biotechnology to improve crop yields and food security. Yeah, golden rice is a genetically modified rice that was helping. Golden rice advocacy. Here we go. A significant focus has been on golden rice, a genetically engineered rice variety designed to produce beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A, to prevent blindness and death from malnutrition in children. So, and it goes on and on. You can look it up. So laureates have condemned, these are Nobel Peace Prize, not Nobel Peace Prize winner, but Nobel Prize winners. They have condemned anti-GMO organizations and activists for spreading misinformation and fear, which has delayed the implementation of potentially life-saving technologies. So that's why I feel that way about GMOs. See, it's not that I'm just trying to be contradictory or contrary. World hunger. And so I don't see too much about it anymore, but for a while everybody was like, GMOs are so bad, and it was just ridiculous. Sure, if you can afford those organic fruits, that's the other thing. Well, crab apples are organic, and they're actually tasty. I like crab apples. They're sour. I like sour things. But yeah, generally people don't like to eat crab apples. I'm doing another thing about apples. Another ramble about apples. No, well, anyway, gardening is interesting. Just planting something, a seed out of, like a cucumber seed or cucumber seeds. You should probably plant a few if you're going to do it. But just anything you eat, just plant the seeds and see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? It either doesn't grow or it grows and it dies. But so I do that. I planted a rubber plant that was growing out of a crack in my patio. So I yanked it out and there were still some roots left. So I planted that. I planted a Brazilian pepper plant, but it grows wild here in Florida. They're invasive. But I saw a little one. It's kind of cute. It doesn't do anything. I think it's supposed to produce peppers at some point, but they're not good peppers. They're peppers that can irritate your mouth, and well, I guess any spicy food will. And what else do I have? I have the palm tree. I have a coconut palm too. I planted an actual coconut. It happened because I had it was in a pail of water, because what I wanted to do was soften them up, because one summer I got into coconut water and I wanted to do it all naturally, and there are coconuts everywhere. So I left them soaking in water for a few days to soften up the fiber, so that I could, till I had the opportunity to peel the fibers off and get to the actual coconut. But anyway, in the whole interim of that, one of them had sprouted. So I said, oh, cool, I'm going to plant this one. So I put the coconut is sticking out of the ground, but the roots have taken. But the coconut is still attached to it. But it's rooted not into the ground, into the pot that I have it in. But I'm going to have to transplant it if I want to try to grow up. And you can sell coconut trees. Actually, there are places that will buy them because you can sell palm trees. People use them for landscaping. When they do landscaping, they may want to plant plants. So there are companies that'll buy them from you. I doubt they pay much, but they buy them as plantlings, but they want them to be a certain size. And what else do I have planted? I told you I have the watermelon. Oh, something's growing. I don't know what it is, but it's a ground cover. It's covering the pot, the soil in the pot. I should take a picture of that, and I have an app on my phone. That's another hobby I have. Somebody asked me today what my hobbies were, and I was at a loss because all of my hobbies are solitary. I don't have hobbies like tennis where you play with someone else or team sports. But iNature is the app. It's called let me look it up here on my phone. iNat Classic. It's an app that you download and you take a picture of something that you see, like an animal or a plant that you don't know what it is. And you upload the picture and then it helps you identify it. Today I saw a slug. And it was so cute. I like slugs and snails. I used to be afraid of slugs when I was little. See, isn't this weird? When I was little, I was not afraid of heights, but I was afraid of slugs. And now that I'm grown, I'm not afraid of slugs. I'll pick them up, but I'm afraid of heights. We have curly-tailed lizards. Here are all the things I've seen. So today I saw a slug, a Florida leatherleaf slug. And before that, that's the layman's name, Florida leatherleaf slug. But the scientific name is Leidiula floridana. But I'm just going to tell you the layman's names. Oh, here's the Brazilian pepper plant. I took a picture of it. That's how I figured out Brazilian pepper. But it will eventually grow. It will eventually grow these little red berries. It is a species of flowering plant in the cashew family that is native to subtropical and tropical South America. But you know how things will get up here. More info. And I think, and that's why I read about it, if you try to eat it, widely grown as an ornamental plant. I think you can eat it. Its dried drupes are often sold as pink peppercorns, as are the fruits from the related species, the Chinus mole, the Peruvian pepper tree. The seeds can be used as a spice, adding a pepper-like taste to food. Oh, okay, so they can be used as, but they're really meant to be ornamental. I think they're not as good as peppers as other peppers. So that was that one. And then what else did I see? Let me go back to iNat. Oh, how do I get back to it? I hate when that happens. Okay, the next thing I saw, I saw crow, a fish crow. Just, he looked like a plain old crow. I saw them in the dumpster. It was when I was still working out there. I work part-time, part of the year. I work with them at tax time, about 6 months out of the year, and then the other 6 months I have to. But the reason I like them is because I don't go through the agency. I go directly. I used to be through the agency with them, but then they hired me directly as a temp. So I was going to lunch one day, and these crows were going to town in a dumpster. They were just in there. Crows are funny. They're so big, and I've heard they actually can mimic human speech too, like myna birds can. And curly-tailed lizard, northern curly-tailed lizard. I saw one of those. What did I see here? Christmas fern leaf curl. Christmas fern leaf curl. That's what it's called. Christmas fern leaf curl. Yeah, I found some ferns. It was growing out of a crack in the wall. Plants will grow out of cracks. A musk fern. I did a lot of plants. What's this one? It's a pepper tree. Oh, another pepper tree. It's a Brazilian pepper. It is a Brazilian pepper. Okay, I saw another Brazilian pepper. I saw a 5 fingers, it's called, a Syngonium angustatum. It's called 5 fingers because it's a plant, it's a climbing vine, and it has 5 leaves. So they call it 5 fingers. And then I liked that it was growing in the backyard, and the gardener came, the landscaper, the people who mow the lawn and cut the hedges. And they must have yanked it out. It's not their fault. They didn't know I wanted it. What did I see here? A red house spider. Yeah, I saw a house spider. Where did I see that? I don't remember where I saw it. And northern curly. I've seen a few northern curly-tailed lizards. A crested anole. That's a lizard as well. Okay. Anyway, I've gotten distracted. Was that kind of ASMR though, reading these? A conifer mesogyl. That was sort of a fungus that I saw growing on a door, a wooden door. It's really great. So I've got a lot of things in here. Oh, here, let me do one more. This is the greenhouse frog. It's a little frog I saw. All right. Well, guys, I guess that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. But I'll talk to you next time. Bye.